Hello everyone! Welcome to today's session on financial management. We are Group 2. I'm Jeresa.
And I'm Marijoe.
Actually, we are both new to this subject and we thought that it will be easier for us to understand the complex topics if we will use practical analogies. So today, we will be storytellers. We will be discussing working capital management with the help of our friend Lala. The title of our story, Squeezing Success, a tale of working capital management with Lala's lemonade stand.
Lala, a young and passionate entrepreneur, decided to start a lemonade stand in her neighborhood. Her business journey began with a simple dream: to serve refreshing lemonades to the community and spread joy with each cup she sold.
Lala set up her lemonade stand with enthusiasm, providing top-quality lemonades and warm smiles to her customers. Her business quickly gained popularity, and soon she faced an exciting challenge: managing the finances to ensure her lemonade stand's continued success.
As Lala's lemonade stand grew, she learned about the concept of working capital management. Working capital, in simple terms, refers to the money available to a business for day-to-day operations. It includes the cash on hand, the inventory of lemonade ingredients, and the money owed by customers who bought lemonades on credit.
Working capital is vital for Lala's lemonade stand to thrive. It allows her to buy fresh ingredients, pay for supplies, and cover her daily expenses, ensuring that she keeps the lemonade stand running smoothly. Efficient working capital management also helps Lala stay prepared for any unexpected challenges or opportunities that may come her way.
As Lala's lemonade stand flourished, she learned the importance of balancing the scale of working capital. Having more money tied up in inventory and customer receivables is excellent for her business, as it means she has enough funds to invest and grow. However, she must avoid having more debts and liabilities than available cash to avoid financial troubles.
There are various aspects to managing working capital effectively. Lala must handle inventories wisely, ensuring she has enough but not too much to avoid wastage. She must also manage trade receivables, ensuring that customers pay on time for the lemonades they buy. On the other hand, managing trade payables involves paying suppliers promptly while maintaining positive relationships.
Lala's lemonade stand story teaches us the value of working capital management. By carefully balancing cash flow, inventory, and customer payments, Lala ensured that her lemonade stand remained a thriving neighborhood gem.
Now, let's learn about the financial concepts. We have seen in the story of Lala the value of efficient management of working capital. Working capital is the difference between your current assets,
Things you own that can be turned into cash quickly.
and your current liabilities.
Money you owe to others that needs to be paid back soon.
In simple terms, it's the money you have left after you pay all your immediate bills. If we will translate it into a formula, it will look like this. Working capital equals current assets,
which includes trade receivables, cash in hand and at bank, and inventories,
minus current liabilities,
which includes trade payables and bank overdrafts.
Now, to efficiently manage the working capital, we must learn some important skills that we will be also discussing in the details in our next slides. Efficient working capital management means managing inventories, managing trade receivables, managing cash, and managing trade payables. Mastering these skills will help us maintain optimal level of working capital, which is very important to keep our business thriving.
Moving forward with the topic of working capital, let's now discuss about what is the scale of working capital. The scale of working capital simply means knowing whether a business has enough money to cover its immediate expenses or if it might face financial troubles. It's like balancing the money the business has versus the money it owes.
There are two terms here. Gross working capital simply means current assets, and net working capital, which means current assets minus current liabilities.
There are three main scenarios you might encounter when evaluating the scale of working capital: positive working capital, negative working capital, and zero working capital. The scale of working capital can give you an idea of how financially healthy your lemonade stand or any business is.
In this slide, we will be showing how we came up with positive working capital using the formula that we've mentioned earlier. Working capital equals total current assets minus total current liabilities. For example, you have cash of 100,000 Qatar riyals and your accounts receivable is 80,000 riyals. Your inventory amounts to 120,000 riyals. So if we will add it, A plus B plus C, the total will be 300,000 Qatar riyals.
Then you have a current liabilities of accounts payable 60,000 QR and short-term loan 40,000 QR. Get the sum of it. A plus B equals 100,000. That's the total current liabilities. Now let's follow the formula of working capital. Total current assets minus total current liabilities. So 300,000 QR minus 100,000. The difference will be 200,000, which is a positive working capital.
This positive working capital means you have an extra 200,000 Qatar riyal, which is available to invest in the business or handle any upcoming expenses. Positive working capital provides a cushion and allows your business to operate smoothly without facing cash flow problems. Let's relate it to the story of Lala's lemonade stand. Having a positive working capital means it is a good sign because it indicates that your lemonade stand has enough money to cover its immediate expenses and we are better prepared to handle unexpected financial challenges. In this slide, let's interpret the three main scenarios we might encounter when evaluating the scale of working capital. As previously mentioned, positive working capital means that your short-term assets exceed your short-term liabilities.
On the other hand, negative working capital occurs when your short-term liabilities outweigh your short-term assets. This situation can be concerning because it suggests that your lemonade stand may not have enough money to meet its immediate financial obligations. Negative working capital can lead to difficulties in paying bills on time, missing supplier payments, or even accumulating debt.
There is also a situation called the zero working capital. This is when your short-term assets and short-term liabilities are equal. This might seem like a balanced situation, but it can still pose challenges because you have no buffer for unexpected expenses. A business operating with zero working capital may face difficulties during temporary cash flow fluctuations or emergencies. Let's look at this example. If you have $600 in cash and lemonade ingredients, which means your short-term assets, and owe $600 to suppliers and other short-term debts, which is your short-term liabilities, then your working capital is zero. While your immediate obligations are covered, you have no extra funds to handle unforeseen circumstances.
In summary, the scale of working capital, whether positive, negative, or zero, provides valuable insights into the financial health and stability of your lemonade stand or any businesses. Positive working capital indicates strength. Negative working capital signals potential financial troubles. And zero working capital suggests a delicate balance with little room for unexpected challenges. As a business owner, it's essential to manage your working capital effectively to ensure the long-term success and sustainability of your lemonade stand.
As Lala's lemonade stand continues to flourish, she learns about the concept of optimal level of working capital, a crucial aspect of financial management. The optimal level of working capital refers to the sweet spot where Lala maintains just the right amount of cash and inventory to keep her business running smoothly without tying up excess funds.
Lala realizes that having too much working capital tied up in inventory and accounts receivable can be inefficient. It means she might have money sitting idle or products on the shelf for too long, leading to potential wastage and missed opportunities to invest in growth. On the other hand, having too little working capital can lead to difficulties in fulfilling orders and paying her bills on time. It might result in missed sales and a tarnished reputation if she cannot meet customers' demands.
Lala begins to carefully analyze her working capital levels, taking into account the seasonality of lemonade sales and the time it takes for customers to pay her. She decides to optimize her inventory management, ensuring she orders just enough ingredients to meet demand without overstocking. Here are some factors affecting optimal working capital levels. Industry characteristics. Different industries have unique working capital requirements. For example, businesses in manufacturing or retail may require higher levels of inventory, affecting their working capital needs. Business cycle. Companies may need more working capital during periods of growth and expansion to fund increased operations. Seasonality. Seasonal businesses may experience fluctuations in cash flow throughout the year, requiring adjustments to working capital levels accordingly. Credit policy. A company's credit policy can influence its accounts receivable and accounts payable, affecting the amount of working capital needed. Efficiency of operations. Businesses with streamlined operations and inventory management may require lower working capital than those with inefficiencies. Capital structure. A company's mix of debt and equity financing can influence its need for working capital. High debt levels may lead to higher interest payments, affecting cash flow. Growth plans. Ambitious expansion plans may necessitate higher working capital levels to support increased activities and investments.
As mentioned in our story, it is important to have good inventory management. Managing inventories is like keeping track of the product or goods a business has for sale. It's about making sure there's enough of what customers want to buy without having too much, that it goes to waste, or too little that customers can get what they need. Managing inventories effectively is crucial for businesses as it directly impacts their cash flow, profitability, and overall efficiency.
There's a lot of useful inventory models. Let's mention some of them. First one is the economic order quantity, or EOQ. It's about determining the right balance of inventory to keep on hand. Just in time, or what we call JIT inventory, is the method where you receive the good only when you need them. XYZ inventory management is classifying inventories into categories according to variability of customer demand. X are those inventories with little variation, Y with greater variability, and Z with high level of variability and demand. We can also combine these inventory models. For example, if we combine the ABC analysis with XYZ inventories, that would mean A items plus X items. We will have the high value with steady demand inventories. Another example would be ABC analysis supported by JIT. Employ efficient inventory control methods such as just-in-time inventory management for A items, high-value items, to minimize the holding costs. Our goal here is to avoid tying up excessive capital in inventory while ensuring that we have enough stock to meet demand. Enterprise Resource Planning System. This is the use of technology or software in managing inventories, which we will be explaining on the next slide. Here are some essential tips for managing inventories efficiently. We've mentioned about ERP systems earlier, and this system helps us regularly monitor inventory levels. It's useful in keeping track sales, stock levels, and reorder points. This way, we will know when it's time to replenish your stock. ABC analysis is useful in classifying inventory items. Here, we categorize the items based on their demand patterns. As I've mentioned, A means high value but less frequency. B items, moderate value, moderate frequency, and C items, low value but high frequency. This will help us prioritize which items needs more attention in terms of management and restocking. EOQ is helpful in determining the optimal inventory levels because here we can see the right balance of inventory we should keep on hand. Holding excess inventory ties up your capital and might lead to obsolescence or spoilage. On the other hand, too little inventory might lead to stockouts and missed sales opportunities. We should strive to maintain optimal inventory levels so that we could meet the customer demands while minimizing the carrying costs. Now let's explain further just-in-time or JIT inventory. JIT is a method where you receive goods only as you need them, just in time. So, by reducing the amount of inventory stored, you can free up working capital and reduce holding costs. However, this approach requires efficient coordination with suppliers and accurate demand forecasting. Speaking of forecasting, in forecasting, we use historical sales data, market trends, and other relevant information to forecast demand of our products. The more accurate your demand forecast, the better you can plan your inventory levels and reduce the risk of overstocking or stockouts. I'm sure you've heard about first in, first out. This technique helps manage shelf life and expiry dates. If you deal with perishable goods, especially, we pay close attention to expiration dates. These methods helps us ensure that the older stock is used or sold first, thus reducing the risk for spoilage. Our last technique is controlling inventory shrinkage. This refers to losses due to theft, damage, or administrative errors. Therefore, we should implement security measures, conduct regular stockouts, and use barcode or RFID system to minimize this risk.
Moving forward to our next topic, managing trade receivables. Managing trade receivables is about handling the money customers owe to a business when they buy things on credit. It's like making sure customers pay their bills on time, just like when you lend money to a friend and expect them to pay you back. Efficient management is crucial for maintaining cash flow. So what are the benefits and costs of credit sales? When business offers credits, it provides customer with flexibility to delay payment, resulting in increased sales revenue and stronger customer relationships. However, there are inherent costs such as credit administration expenses, bad debts, and the opportunity cost of funds tied up in receivables. To effectively manage trade receivables, businesses must have a clear and well-defined credit policies. How do we manage trade receivables? How do we ensure that we can collect our money to maintain our optimum work capital? Here are some tips on managing trade receivables. First, we must have a clear credit policies to decide which customers can buy on credit and how much credit they can get. This helps us ensure that you sell to trustworthy customers who will pay you back on time. Next, timely invoicing. Issue invoices promptly after making a sale. Invoices are like bills that tells your customers how much they owe you and when the payment is due. Third, follow up on payments. Keep track of when payments are due and follow up with customers who haven't paid on time. Sending friendly reminders can help customers remember to pay. Fourth, offer incentives. To encourage prompt payments, consider offering discounts or rewards for customers who pay early on time. Set up a payment terms. Clearly communicate your payment terms to customers such as due in 30 days or net 60 days. These terms let them know when they need to pay you. Next, customer communication. Maintain good communication with your customers. If they are facing financial difficulties, understanding their situation can help you work out a payment plan that works for both parties. 7. Consider factoring or financing. If you need the money from receivables sooner, you can consider factoring or financing options, where you sell your receivables to a third party for a fee, and they handle the collection process. Another tip, monitor receivable aging. Keep an eye on the aging of your receivables, which shows you how long they have been outstanding. This helps you identify which customers might need more attention in terms of payment reminders. Next, set up reserve for bad debts. Sometimes, despite your best efforts, customers may not be able to pay. Setting aside a reserve for bad debts can help you mitigate the impact of such losses on your business. By managing trade receivables well, you can ensure a steady and predictable cash flow for your business, allowing you to meet your own financial obligations and invest in growth opportunities. Analyzing the 5 C's of credit. First C, capital. It refers to the borrower's financial reserves or assets. Having significant capital indicates that the borrower has a financial cushion to handle unexpected expenses and reduces the lender's risk. Capacity assesses the borrower's ability to repay the loan. Lenders evaluate the borrower's income, employment stability, and overall financial health to determine if they have sufficient income and cash flow to meet their debt obligations. Collateral. This is an asset or property that the borrower pledges as security for the loan. Conditions. It refers to the economic and market conditions that may impact the borrower's ability to repay the loan. Lenders consider factors such as the purpose of the loan. Example, starting a business, the state of the economy, industry trends, and interest rate fluctuations. Character. Character refers to the borrower's reputation, trustworthiness, and credit history. Lenders evaluate how the borrower has managed past debts and whether they have a history of making timely payments.
With these adjustments, managing inventories and trade receivables, Lala strikes a balance in her working capital management. She ensures she has enough cash to cover her expenses, invest in new lemonade flavors, and seize growth opportunities while maintaining good relationships with suppliers and customers. As Lala focuses on managing cash, she realizes that effective cash management is crucial for the sustainability and growth of her business. Now let's talk about managing cash. Cash is the lifeblood of any organization. Efficient cash management is crucial to meet short-term obligations and seize business opportunities. What are the reasons for holding cash? One is, of course, to meet day-to-day commitments. Cash is crucial for meeting daily expenses and financial obligations. Individuals need cash to pay groceries, utility bills, transportation, and other routine expenses. We also hold cash for precautionary purposes. Cash reserves serves as safety net for both individuals and businesses. Exploiting opportunities. Having cash on hand allows individuals and businesses to take advantage of opportunities as they arise. In the business context, these opportunities could include potential investments, acquisitions, or bulk purchases at discounted prices. How will we know how much cash balance we really need to hold? We can use upper and lower control limits for cash balances and the use of a target cash balance models, which you can see in this slide. Management sets the upper and lower limits for the business's cash balance. When the balance goes beyond either of these limits, unless it is clear that the balance will return fairly quickly within the limit, action will need to be taken. If the upper limit is breached, some cash will be placed on deposit or used to buy some marketable securities. If the lower limit is breached, the business will need to borrow some cash or sell some securities. It is also important to have a projected cash flow statement. To manage cash effectively, it is useful for a business to prepare a projected cash flow statement. When a cash surplus is expected to arise, managers must decide where to best use the surplus funds. However, when a cash deficit is expected, we must make adequate provision by borrowing, liquidating assets, or rescheduling cash payments or receipts to deal with this. Another important concept is the operating cash cycle, also known as the cash conversion cycle. This fundamental concept measures the time it takes for a business to convert its resources, such as inventory and accounts receivable, into cash. It represents the cycle of cash inflows and outflows within a company's day-to-day operations. Let's look at this diagram. In here, we can see how the cash goes in and how it goes out when we pay our accounts payable. Measured in days, it expresses the time it takes for a company to convert its investment in inventory and other resources into cash flows from sales. A shorter operating cash cycle indicates that the company is converting its resources into cash quickly. Conversely, a longer operating cash cycle may suggest inefficiencies in managing inventory, receivables, or payables, which could lead to cash flow problems. The formula in computing this is operating cash cycle equals inventory conversion period plus receivables collection period minus payables payment period. We can see that from the formula above, if a business wishes to reduce the OCC, it should do one or more of the following. One is to reduce the average inventory's turnover period. Inventory's turnover period refers to how quickly you can sell and replace your stock of goods. If you have a shorter turnover period, it means you are selling products more quickly and restocking them faster. Reducing the average settlement period for trade receivables. When you run a business, you often sell goods or services to customers on credit, allowing them to pay you later. The settlement period for trade receivables refers to the average time it takes for your customers to pay you for these purchases. By reducing this period, it means your customers are paying you back faster, which is beneficial for your cash flow. It gives you access to money sooner, so you can reinvest it into your business or cover expenses without waiting for long periods. Remember, we need to shorten the operating cash cycle. Therefore, increasing the average settlement period for trade payables will be beneficial. On the other side of the equation, when you run a business, you also buy goods or services from suppliers, and they might give you time to pay them back. The settlement period for trade payables refers to the average time you take to pay your suppliers. Increasing this period means you're taking longer to pay your suppliers, which can also help with your cash flow. It gives you more time to use the money you owe to suppliers to generate revenue or profits before having to part with it. To sum it up, businesses aim to reduce the time it takes to sell and replace the products, which is the inventory's turnover, get paid faster by customers, which is the settlement period for trade receivables, and extend the time they have to pay the suppliers, the settlement period for trade payables. By doing so, they can improve the financial efficiency and have more control over the cash flow, which can contribute to a healthier or more successful business. However, it is essential to strike the right balance to maintain good relationship with customers and suppliers while optimizing the business financial performance.
The same way that we manage our trade receivables, we should also manage our trade payables well. Most businesses buy their goods and services on credit. Trade payables represent the amounts a company owes to suppliers for credit purchases. Effective management helps maintain supplier relationships and optimize cash flow. Here are some practical points to consider when managing payables. First, we should establish a payables policy. Clearly define the payment terms and conditions you will follow for different types of transactions. We should determine who in the organization has the authority to approve payments and set spending limits. We should also ensure the policy complies with any legal and regulatory requirements. Next, exploiting free credit. Free credit refers to the period between when you receive goods or services and when you have to make the payment. It's essentially an interest-free loan from suppliers. To make the most of this benefit, we should extend the time you take to pay suppliers within the agreed-upon payment terms. Use this extra time to generate revenue from the goods or services you purchase. Invest any cash you would have used to pay suppliers immediately to earn additional income. Finally, use accounting ratios. Accounting ratios are mathematical relationships between different financial numbers that help assess a company's financial health. Two commonly used accounting ratios are profit margin and current ratio. Profit margin. This ratio shows how much profit a company makes from its sales. It's calculated by dividing the company's net profit by its total revenue. A higher profit margin means the company is earning more profit for each dollar of sales, which is generally favorable. While the current ratio measures a company's short-term financial health by comparing its current assets to its current liabilities. A ratio above 1 indicates the company can cover its short-term obligations, which is a positive sign. We've discussed the trade payables management strategies. Now let's look into cost of taking credit and cost of not taking credit. In cost of taking credit, when suppliers allow you to take credit and defer payment, they may charge a higher price for the goods or services compared to what you would pay for immediate cash settlement. This is because the supplier is essentially providing you with financing, and they want to be compensated for the additional risk and time value of money. Managing trade payables involves additional administrative tasks, such as processing invoices, tracking payment due dates, and maintaining communication with suppliers. These activities can require time, resources, and possibly additional staff or software to handle efficiently. Some suppliers may impose restrictions or terms on credit purchases, such as minimum order quantity or a maximum credit period. These restrictions may not align with your business needs or may limit your flexibility in managing inventory. How about in cost of not taking credit? When you pay for goods or services immediately, you miss out on the opportunity to use the supplier's credit as interest-free financing. By not utilizing this credit period, you may need to find alternative sources of funding, which could come with interest charges or other financing costs, which can be time-consuming. If you pay upfront for all purchases, it can tie up your cash, limiting your ability to invest in other areas of your business or take advantage of growth opportunities. Having access to trade credit allows you to preserve your purchasing power and allocate funds strategically. Immediate payment can be inconvenient, especially if your business operates on tight cash flow or if you have large and frequent purchases. It may require constant monitoring of cash availability and frequent payments, which can be time-consuming and cumbersome.
We have to monitor our capacity to pay our liabilities or trade payables. To help monitor the level of trade credit taken, management can calculate the average settlement period for trade payables ratio, a financial metric that measures the average number of days it takes a company to pay its trade payables. Here's the formula. Average settlement period for trade payables equals average trade payables divided by the cost of goods sold times the number of days. A high average settlement period for trade payables may imply that the company is taking longer to pay its suppliers, which could be a signal of poor financial health or liquidity issues. It might also indicate that the company is using its trade payables as a source of short-term financing, potentially stretching payment terms to free up cash for other purposes. An aging schedule of payables, also known as an accounts payable aging report, is a financial report that categorizes a company's outstanding payables. It provides a snapshot of the company's current liabilities and helps in analyzing the payment patterns and potential cash flow issues. The report provides a clear breakdown of the company's liabilities, showing the amounts due in each time period. By effectively managing trade payables, Lala can maintain a positive relationship with her suppliers while ensuring her lemonade stand's financial stability. With a well-balanced approach to managing both trade receivables and trade payables, Lala's business thrives, attracting more customers and becoming a beloved neighborhood fixture.
Lala's lemonade stand thrives with its optimal level of working capital, demonstrating how prudent financial management is the key to a successful and sustainable business. As Lala pours each refreshing cup of lemonade, she is proud to have achieved a harmonious blend of working capital that keeps her business humming with success.
To sum it up, working capital management is the effective managing of inventories, managing trade receivables, managing cash, and managing trade payables to achieve an optimal level of working capital. We hope this story inspired you.
Let us carry these lessons beyond the lemonade stand into every venture, every project, and every decision we make.
Here's to a future filled with prosperity, sustainability, and the sweet taste of success.
May your journey be as refreshing and rewarding as a cool sip of lemonade on a warm summer's day.
Thank you.
Thank you.